Hey, everybody, it's Jade, and we made it. Here we are. It's the big game. Probably just going to keep saying the big game just so I don't get flagged or anything like that. Because I think there's some sort of I don't know, monetary thing. But Super Bowl day, everybody. All right, we made it. So thank you so much for joining, everybody. Hope you're having a great Sunday thus far. We'll see what's going on with the planets here to see if we can determine who the winner of the game is going to be. Thanks again, everybody, for joining me. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know who you think is going to win today, too. I'm going to just say hi to everybody, too, that has joined. So, again, I appreciate y'all. Happy Super Bowl Sunday to everybody. Hi, JV. How's it going? Yep, JV, I am in the same camp. Happy Super Bowl Sunday to everybody. Hope you are doing well. Summer home, always good to see you. Thanks for joining. So yeah, everyone, I'm going to pull up the astrological chart here in a couple of minutes. And if you've been here before, you know what we do. We look and see if we can determine who the winner is going to be. If you're new, that's what we do. We look at the game chart. Another challenging one. If those of you are interested too, if you go on my channel, I have my prediction from the last Super Bowl from last year. That's kind of like the featured video on my channel right now. So if you want to check out the prediction that I did last year, go ahead and take a little peek at that. But when I do my live streams of the Vikings games too throughout the season, I do the Planetary Pregame before every Vikings game as well. I still have to go back and get my official record on my astrological predictions, but I think I was somewhere in the realm of I think I got about 3 or 4 games wrong. So somewhere like that. I did get a couple of wrong, but pretty much winning record overall, but lifelong astrology student. So we'll see how it goes this year. I will say too, another difficult chart for the game today. They're all always challenging. I do love a good challenge, but the Super Bowl ones are very, very hard because normally it's kind of around the same time each year too. So normally, I guess, or I should say, this year and last year, both teams have the same ruling planets. So we'll get into that a little bit, but thanks again, everybody, for joining. William, good luck to your Eagles today. Thanks for joining us. Happy to have you. Yep, I know you're choosing Eagles all the way. I wish both teams good luck because honestly, I'm not a fan of either team. I don't like either team, to be completely frank and completely honest. If this one game could end in a tie, I'd be okay with that. And I don't like ties. So, but it's good as an astrologer to stay objective. So there we go. But yeah, Mars, good to see you too. I think you have a birthday coming up, or did you not? Did you just have one? I know Aquarius season is your season, so happy belated or happy early birthday to you. Thank you for joining us. Hope you're well. What did you say there, Mars? Hand purple, blue piece, hand pink. Wait, love it. Yeah. Okay. I think you put the little emojis in there. I like it. JV, you got the Eagles. Okay, 37-34. There we go. I think right now the Eagles have they're the favor or they're favorited, I think by 1.5 is the ending spread. Happy Valentine's, if you really want to get people going. Thanks, Mars. Back at you. Appreciate that. I'm kind of sad the Bengals aren't in the Super Bowl. I was rooting for them too, JV. I was rooting for them as well. But yeah, maybe next year. Maybe next year. I know, JV, that you're a big fan of Joe Burrow. So yeah, I think he's on the up and up though. We got payout time. LA Rams Canadian fan extraordinaire, LA Rams YouTube content creator as well, our Canadian friend, Payo Time. What's going on, Payo? Always good to see you. For those of you that are not tapped into Payo Time's channel, go subscribe, go check it out. Like I said, our friend from Canada, LA Rams fan, great guy, makes really good content over there. So always good to see you, Payo. Good morning to you and happy Super Bowl Sunday. And hopefully, too, Payo, you're still enjoying the Super Bowl win from last year. You can carry that on, right? Just carry on into a wayward son there. But always good to see you, Payo. Always good to see you. Oh, it was on the 8th. Okay, happy belated. I knew that it was around this time. So yeah, happy belated. Yes, you are very welcome. Very welcome. Okay. Payo's got Kansas City 40-37. There you go. Okay, you're kind of I've been hearing a lot of high scores. That's what I've kind of been hearing around, but like I said, I'm going to wait probably like 2 more minutes here, and then I'm going to pull up the chart, and then we'll get into it here, and we'll get a little deeper dive. I'm choosing to enjoy the final hours of the Rams. There you go. As reigning Super Bowl champions. There you go. Nice. And 2, I saw on ESPN they're playing like the game, or kind of like a recap of last year. So I was watching a little bit of that before I came on. And then 2, who did I spy back there on the Rams? I saw Kevin O'Connell. Like, oh, all right, there he was. But yeah, I would enjoy that. I mean, just keep riding with it. Yeah, but good on you. Congratulations still. Your team, Super Bowl champions. Tom Brady is going to run out onto the field in the uniform of whichever team is winning so he can have another Super Bowl win on his resume. He might. You never know. You never know. I still have a sneaking suspicion that he's going to show up today, some point during like the broadcast, or is in some way, perhaps maybe a commercial, something like that. We cannot go he's too much he likes to be in the limelight. He likes the spectacle. I have a feeling we're going to see a little something from Tommy today. From Father Time Tom. There we go. Oh, you're welcome, Peo. Anytime. Peo is one of the real ones. Realist of the realist. Eagles may be favored, but I don't really go by that, especially when the 2 teams are evenly matched. True that, William. True that. Yep. Very good point. Yeah, JV, me and you are on the same vibe, dude. Just vibing. We are. Hey, Peter, how's it going? Good morning. All right. You've got Philadelphia 23-19. There you go. I will say I'm going to get into it here. I'm going to pull up the chart right now. I said about 10:15, so we're about there. But yeah, I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be a close one. But yeah, and I've been hearing really highs in like the 30s. But I don't know. We'll see. But I'll get going on it here. I am actually going to share the screen. Let's get into it. All right. So let me pull up the chart here. But yeah, Peter, good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate you. All right. So let's pull up the game chart and see what is happening here today. So what do we get here? Let me make sure I got it. All right, here we go. We're going to zoom in a little bit here so we can see it. All right, so here's the chart. Let me move some ads out of the way so we all don't have to look at that. I'm going to blow it up a little bit here. Okay, so here's the chart, everybody, for the game today. Okay, we got a bot in here. Did I switch to StreamYard? No, I used to use StreamYard. I'm on the Restream right now, but it's very similar to StreamYard. It's very similar. But yeah, I do like StreamYard as well. But yeah, I'm on Restream right now. So, okay, here we go. This is the chart for the game today, like I said. I'm going to try to sneak in there a little bit more, make it a little bigger. All right, so the way that I read the charts, and again, lifelong astrology student here, but this is how I've been reading them all year. I said at the beginning of the year, too, that because there's a couple of different ways, that you can kind of look at some things. But basically, I'm just sticking with the way that I've been reading the charts all year. I was going to see how the winning and losing record came out from reading it that way at the end of the year. And then if it's, less, if it's not winning record, I guess, with the predictions, I might switch it up and next year try to read the charts differently. But so far this year, it's, proven more right than wrong. But like I said, I've been wrong before, so I could be wrong again. We'll see. That's what makes it kind of fun here. But, yeah. Oh, yeah. Cool. Yep. Payout. Yeah, it's like, I like Restream too, but just like on a little creator, like, behind the scenes note, I will say when I have people on Restream, they kind of have technical issues, like my guests that I've had on with Restream with their audio. And I'm not really sure why. I never experienced that with StreamYard, but yeah. Oh, yeah, thank you. I like the background, too. It's very fitting, I feel like. Yeah. So what if the Eagles won 41-33? Same score they beat the Patriots. Oh, that would be nuts. That would be cool, though. I like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or should I say that background is a superstar background? Nice. I love that. I feel like it's very fitting as well. Thank you, Peo. I appreciate that. Okay, so here's the chart, like I said, for the game today, everybody. I set how I read the charts is I do it by kickoff time. So kickoff right now is slated for 4:30 Mountain Time, which would be, I'm in the Central Time Zone, so that would be 5:30 here, but it's going to be 4:30 is the slated kickoff time. Now, sometimes throughout the year, kickoff is not always exactly at the right time, but we can we're just going to use 4:30 Mountain because that's what time the game is starting. Obviously, they're playing in Glendale, Arizona, and then it's February 12th today. So this is the chart here, how it looks of what the planets are doing at the start of the game today. Yep, I'll get to that, JV. Very good question. Very, very good question. So basically, this is how, 6:30 Eastern, William. Yes, and Peo is right. The Eagles are going to be the home team today. Yes, to answer JV's question. So Eagles are the home team today. So they're going to be, how I read the charts, they're going to be represented by Leo, which is right over in house number 1 here. I don't know if y'all can see my pointer. Can you all see my pointer finger? I don't know if y'all can see that. Let me try to bring that over there. Let me know if you can see my pointer finger. Okay, because I didn't see it in there. Can you all see when I'm pointing over here? I couldn't see that before. Let me know if you can see it or not. Because before we could see the pointer where my mouse is going, because I like to tell you all what I'm talking about here. So let me know if you can see it. All right. But yeah, so Eagles are the home team today. Kansas City is going to be the away team. So the way that checks out with the chart is, I'm trying to show you all, but I hope that you can see my pointer. But Leo is going to be house number 1. I read that as the home team. So Leo is ruled by the sun. So the Eagles are going to be ruled by the sun today, since their first house here lands in the sign of Leo. And like I said, Leo is ruled by the sun. So you can see it. Awesome. Okay, thanks, JV. Thanks for letting me know. I just want to make sure you can see it because it's a lot easier to explain. Okay, perfect. Thank you. So the Eagles, like I said, they're going to be ruled by the sun today because their first house here lands in the sign of Leo. So then if we're looking at Kansas City, they're the away team today. They're going to be represented, their first house, by the 7th house here, which lands in the sign of Aquarius. I tend to go with traditional rulerships. Traditionally, Aquarius is ruled by the planet Saturn. So if you look, actually, the sun and Saturn, they're right next to each other, right here. They're only a couple of degrees away. It's what's called in astrology as conjunct. So these two teams, right on top of each other today. They're both going at it. Obviously, very reflective of the chart itself. Eagles in light green? What do you mean? But yeah, so sun, that's going to be the Eagles today. And then, like I said, Kansas City, they're going to be represented by Saturn. So two very, very powerful. Saturn is a very powerful planet. It can bring delays. It rules time. It can also rule blockages too. It's a karmic teacher. Now, the sun is obviously, we all know about the sun. It's our life force. It's vital. So both of these teams playing in a big game, they're both represented, one by the sun and one by Saturn. So very, very fitting. Now, we're going to look at the 5th house for each team. That's the house of games and entertainment. And then we're also going to look at the 10th house for each team because that represents kind of the public spectacle. It also can represent career. It's the highest point on the chart. So again, it's very public. And then we're going to look at the moon also because the moon represents the people in what's called mundane astrology. And the moon in general too is the co-ruler of the chart in itself. So we're going to look at all of those things as well. Okay. Does them being so close to each other mean? I think so. Yes, JV, I do believe so. I think it's going to be a close one. So great questions too. I love the questions. So now, since the Eagles are the home team, we'll look at them first. So like I said, we're going to look at their 5th house, their house of games. And then we're going to look at their 10th house, the house of their career, public spectacle. And then we're going to look at the moon. So now, since the Eagles are represented by the sun, we're going to look at that because that's them. So one thing that I don't like for the Eagles here is that they are ruled by the sun, and when the sun is in Aquarius, it's in its detriment there. So it naturally rules Leo. It's in that the sign opposite to which it rules. So the sun doesn't necessarily get as much power in the sign of its detriment because it naturally rules the sign opposite to it. So right there, I don't like that for the Eagles. Another thing that I looked at as well, I looked at a couple of players' birthdays because it's very, very hard. This chart is very hard just to determine because I see good and bad for both. But Jalen Hurts is also a Leo. So his sun sign is in Leo. So he is, in fact, ruled by the sun as well. So the fact that the sun is so close to Saturn, represented by Kansas City, and Saturn can represent blockages and it can stop you. I don't necessarily like that for the Eagles today. I don't like that. Not to mention that the fact that the sun is in Kansas City's first house right there. So that right there straight away, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't really like that for the Eagles, but there's more to it. So the Eagles' fifth house, I'm just going to answer this one and then I'm going to pop back in the chat if anybody has any questions. So the Eagles' fifth house of game, that's right down here. That lands in the sign of Sagittarius. So Sagittarius is ruled by the planet Jupiter. So we're going to look at what the sun and Jupiter are doing right now. So Jupiter's right over here in Aries. Now, the sun and Jupiter, they're in what's called a sextile, which is a supportive energy. That's supportive. However, the one thing I don't like about it is the sun has already kind of moved past like the strongest point of that sextile is what it's called. So it's still there, but it's not super strong anymore. But that is beneficial for the Eagles. Another thing for the Eagles that I do like is that what's called the lot of victory is in their fifth house of games as well. So the 10th house, again, we're going to look at here for the Eagles. Their 10th house is right up here. It lands in the sign of Aries. Aries is ruled by the planet Mars. So now we're going to look at what the sun, the Eagles, and Mars are doing. So if you look at Mars, Mars is right over here in Gemini, and Mars is in is what's called trining the sun. It's in a loose trine, meaning again, the sun kind of already moved past the strongest point, but a trine is favorable. That is good for the Eagles. But again, they kind of just missed like the strongest point there just with the time. So another thing we're going to look at again, like I mentioned, is the moon. So the moon is in Scorpio right now. So the moon is actually in the Eagles' fourth house of home for this game. So that's beneficial that the moon is there. However, the moon, when she's in Scorpio, she's what's called in her fall. She doesn't like being in Scorpio. She gets uncomfortable there. So this could be a little bit some uncomfiness for the Eagles today, potentially as well. Another thing we're looking at here is what the moon and the sun, the Eagles, are doing. The moon is working towards what's called a square with the sun, not favorable, not supportive. So I don't like that necessarily for the Eagles as well. So thanks for listening. That's my little Eagles wrap. Then we're going to go to Kansas City here. I'm going to pop back in the chat here and see if I missed anything. Oh yeah, throwback colors. Nice. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Hey, Angel, how's it going? Thank you for joining us. Yeah, no problem. I am predicting a winner of the game. It's going to be at the very end here. I'm just going through both, and then I'll give you my prediction at the end. But yeah, thank you for joining, Angel. Always good to see you. William, I just got a notification on my phone saying Commanders, like, oh, really? Likely to part ways with Carson Wentz. We got a little breaking news there. All right. I wonder where he's going to end up going. Okay. Well, thank you for that. Okay. Angels got Kansas City by 10. I've seen a little bit of a split here in the chat. I've seen a few Eagles and I've seen a couple for Kansas City. All right. I like it. Okay, thanks again, everybody, for hanging out with me. Now, since I did look at the Eagles a little bit there, I'm just looking at my notes here, kind of going through everything. We looked at the moon. Another thing that we can look at here for the Eagles as well, I talked about Jalen Hurts a little bit too. I also did look at Nick Sirianni. I looked to see when his birthday was, to see what planet rules his sun sign. He's a Gemini. So Mars, which also can rule sports, is actually in the sign of Gemini. So that bodes well. And for Nick Sirianni. And Nick Sirianni, his sun sign is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury just entered Aquarius right over here, and it's in what's called a trine. Again, a very favorable aspect with Mars. So I do like that for Nick Sirianni as well. I see some support there. But the one big thing that I'm really looking at here that is just, I'm like, ugh. And it's been one thing I've looked at in charts all year, where Saturn, like I said, it can really block. It can stop things. And the fact that the sun is basically creeping towards Saturn, the sun is at 23 degrees of Aquarius and Saturn is at 27 degrees of Aquarius. So the sun moves a degree about every day. So the sun is getting real close to Saturn. Saturn represents Kansas City. So I just feel that might be some sort of blockage. It just stops them. Like, they got this far, but nope, you're actually not going to get it. But like I said, we're going to get into Kansas City a little bit here. But yeah, let's take a look here. Okay. I think the Commanders should sign Trubisky to be their starter if they move in. Oh, there you go. I always thought that there would be more for Mitch Trubisky too. Yeah, who cares? Exactly. Oh, man, bold prediction. Mahomes throws an interception at the end of the game. I could see that too, actually, because funny enough that you mentioned that, JV, like a little bit of a surprise before I get into Kansas City here too, we can actually look at Uranus. Uranus is the planet that it's unpredictable planet. It's an outer planet. It can shake things up. So funny enough, the fact that you mentioned that, Uranus is right here in the Eagles' 10th house. Which again is like the public spectacle house. And just the moon in general, it co-rules the chart and co-rules, the game per se. Uranus right up here in Taurus and the moon right down here in Scorpio, they are opposing each other. So what if we see some sort of an interception maybe that we're not prepared for? What if we see, I don't know, maybe some sort of like streaker or, something weird from the crowd that we are like, whoa, that came out of nowhere. What if we see a balloon over the stadium, like a UFO or something? Who knows? But that could be something to watch out for. So, and there always is something surprising during the Super Bowls. There always is. But yeah, something to do with like the people and like the center stage or something. That could be something to watch out for there. All right, so let's get into Kansas City here. So we went through the Eagles. We did a little deep dive there. Now, Kansas City. So like I said, Kansas City is represented, since they're the away team today, they're represented by the 7th house here, landing in the sign of Aquarius. Like I said, I go with traditional rulerships. The modern day ruler of Aquarius is actually Uranus. But again, I go with traditional rulerships, but I like to look at everything. But anywho, so we're looking at Saturn here for Kansas City. So straight away, Kansas City, their ruling planet, Saturn, is in its own sign that it rules. Saturn rules Aquarius, and it also rules Capricorn. So the fact that Kansas City, they are ruled by Saturn, which again is the great karmic teacher of the universe. It rules time, rules other things as well, but it's in its own sign that it rules, so it gets extra power there. He likes being there, and it's also in Kansas City's 1st house of self. But I could also see that potentially, to JV's point, as because Saturn again can bring blockages. It can stop things. So potentially Kansas City, Prince Patrick, you've been on your pedestal this whole time. Maybe you're going to get stopped today because also the sun is right there. But, however, the sun loses steam in Aquarius and Saturn has more power in Aquarius. So right there, I like that for Kansas City as well. So another thing too, we can look at the time in this game, maybe coming down to the final moments or something like that. Maybe again to JV's point, interception, something like that. So now let's look at the 5th house for Kansas City. That's their house of games. So their fifth house is right over here. If you look, actually, Mars is right there as well. Mars is our energy, our action planet. So the fact that Mars is in Kansas City's fifth house of games, given energy there. Okay, so that looks pretty good for Kansas City. Now, Mercury rules Gemini, so we're going to actually look what Mercury and Saturn are doing. Now, if you look, Mercury's right here. So Mercury is technically in Kansas City's 12th house of hidden enemies. Something that you can't see, obviously, because it's hidden. So maybe something surprising, possibly Mahomes throwing this interception, maybe something like that. Doing something where, makes him shit the bed. That's something to look out for. But so Mercury and Saturn, they're actually not really corresponding. They're not really doing anything. So there could be some sort of maybe separation with Kansas City a little bit here. I know Mahomes has also been dealing with that injury. Something to look out for there. But their fifth house is ruled by Mercury. And we can also look at Mars because Mars is in their fifth house of games. This is Kansas City. So if we look at Mercury, it's actually making a very nice, what's called a trine with Mars. So that could be maybe something sneaky. Andy Reid has, in his back pocket that, could be maybe surprised at the end to get them the victory as well. So both of those things, again, it's kind of hit or miss. Both of the teams are getting some good and bad here. Now, we're going to look at, again, the 10th house for Kansas City. That rules the public spectacle of it all. Now, their 10th house lands over here in the sign of Libra. Libra is ruled by Venus. So we're going to look at what Saturn and Venus are doing. So Venus is over here in Pisces. She likes being in Pisces. It's what's called exalted. She likes being there. However, if we look at Saturn and Venus, they're not really doing anything. There's not really much happening there. So it's like Kansas City, you're there. You've been there before. You've won a Super Bowl, but is there going to be something missing today here for Kansas City? Now, look what else is in the Kansas City's 10th house, the moon. We were going to look at that anyway. Now, the moon is not making a favorable aspect with Saturn. The moon, just like the sun, the moon does not support the Eagles and does not support Kansas City. It doesn't support either one. She's working to square both teams. Another thing, though, that I'm going to look at, I hope you all are staying with me. I know it can get kind of crazy. I am going to come back to the chat here, and I am getting to the end. So thanks again for hanging on. Another thing we're going to look at here is, since the moon is there, what is she doing with Venus? She's making what's called a trine. The moon, in the Kansas City's 10th house of public spectacle, ruled by Venus, the moon is supporting Venus. So that bodes well for Kansas City. Now, I talked about Nick Sirianni with the Eagles a little bit, and I did also look at Patrick Mahomes. He's a Virgo, so he's ruled by Mercury. Now, I mentioned how Mercury is over here in Kansas City's 12th house of hidden enemies. So, kind of again, to Jade's sentiment, could Prince Patrick here kind of be the hidden enemy for Kansas City in itself that they don't even know, where he might throw an interception or do something? But Mercury, Patrick Mahomes, is making a supportive aspect again with Mars, which is energy planet in their fifth house of games. So it's so hard because there's good and there's bad for both. Now, with Andy Reid, he is a Pisces, a sun in Pisces. So his sun side is ruled by the beneficial Jupiter. So that's another thing that I looked at here. So Jupiter is right over here in Aries. Patrick Mahomes is ruled by Mercury. Andy Reid is ruled by Jupiter. Mercury and Jupiter are in a very favorable aspect right now. At the start of this game, they're working in tandem. They're working well together. When I look at Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts, we don't get that. Nick Sirianni is right over here. Jalen Hurts is right here. We're not really getting too much of that. So with all of that kind of coming full circle here, we could keep going. We could keep deep diving here. And like I said, there's good and bad for both teams. The Super Bowl charts are just they're hard in itself. But with all that coming full circle here, and I don't like either team, so I can pretty much say objective here. But again, I could be wrong. I've been wrong before, but this is my prediction today. I'm going Kansas City 32, Philly 28. So I am picking Kansas City as the winner of the game today. However, with that being said, I see some good things for the Eagles too. I mean, again, it's so difficult. That's why I had to look at the coaches and the players. I also looked at the Kelsey brothers as well too, because they're kind of, stars of each team. So when it's not blatantly like obvious by the planetary rulers of each team, I got to start looking at the coaches, and then I got to start looking at players too. So again, thanks everybody for hanging out. Appreciate you. But yeah, we'll see. Swerve, how you doing? I watched the last 5 minutes only. Football without Vikings is not my thing. Yeah, I mean, fair enough, dude. Fair enough. I feel that. But yeah, I think it's going to be close. By right, should be a 3-point game. Yeah, I don't know why. The points are always really hard for me. I don't think I've gotten points right at all this year. That just astrologically, that's something I really gotta study a lot more. But I don't know. I do think it's going to be very close today. But yeah, I think it's going to be a fun one. I think it's going to be fun, and I think it's going to be competitive, and I don't think it's going to be a snoozer. And I think it's going to be close. And like I said, I got Kansas City winning. But again, with the stuff for the Eagles, I could see it too. So, but I got to make a prediction. The stars are aligning. All right, Cole's Cowboys. Thanks for joining, Cole. And if y'all haven't checked out Cole's channel, obviously Cowboys content creator, thanks for joining us. The stars are aligning for that. I like the wink face. But again, I don't like either team, to be completely honest with everybody. I don't. As a Vikings fan, when that comes into play, obviously I don't like Philadelphia because of what with 2018. Okay. Do we have to remember that? Yeah, I guess we do. And then for Kansas City, I don't like them either because they win everything. Sick of Prince Patrick. Somebody but push him off his pedestal. I'm sick of it. But with, I guess, Kansas City, they do have Jerick McKinnon, who was a former Viking. I actually have always been a fan of Jerick McKinnon. So there's that. But, overall, it's pretty much, I could stay pretty objective. Lilith was Mahomes last night till 4 a.m. Okay, do we got to talk about Black Moon Lilith? I mean, we actually could if you wanted to. We could. But yeah, so we'll see what happens. Again, thanks everybody for joining. We could keep diving into this even a little bit more here. And another thing I actually did do as well, which I have done from time to time in the past this year, is I will put the time 3 hours later to see what the planets are doing kind of hypothetically at the end of the game. Because, games are roughly about 3 hours long. And, when I push the time forward, again, there was good for both the Eagles and Kansas City, good and bad. But there was just one or two things. And specifically, I was just looking at the coach with Andy Reid and Nick Sirianni as well. And just the fact that Andy Reid, his planet Jupiter, and Patrick Mahomes, Mercury, are getting along in the sky a little bit more than Nick Sirianni, Mercury, and Jalen Hurts, the sun. And another thing too is Jalen, and I don't know these players and coaches' full birth charts, which is that's what you actually need to look at. I'm just looking at their sun signs. But the fact that Jalen Hurts, he's a sun in Leo, his ruler right now is in a sign that it doesn't like being in, and it's next to Saturn. I don't know. I just think there might be there's going to be obviously one team's going to get blocked today, right? It stops here for one team. That's the end of it. And I just, looking at it, I just have a sneaking suspicion it might be the Eagles. But again, I've been wrong before. I could be wrong today. I could be. Lifelong astrology student, like I said. So I do enjoy that at the end of the game, I will get an answer. That's one really good thing as well, is that we do get an answer at the end. But so that's what we're going with today. I think the Eagles, thanks for joining us, Vlad, by the way. Good to see you. I think the Eagles DBs are getting exposed. That could be. as well. That could be as well. Another thing too that I did look at for both Nick Sirianni and Andy Reid is I was looking at their ages, because depending on how old you are as well, it can kind of quote, I guess, dictate a theme of the year that you're going through. So Andy Reid is going through what's called a fifth house perfection year. His birthday is actually on March 19th. So he's just kind of finishing this theme of this fifth house. And the fifth house rules games, sports, entertainment. So Andy Reid is just finishing up that year. And wouldn't that be a little icing on his cake here before he has his next birthday by winning another Super Bowl? And then when I was looking at Nick Sirianni, he's at the age right now where he's in a sixth house perfection year. So this year for him is going to be kind of sixth house themes. And the sixth house can be a not so beneficial house, really. It can rule illness. It rules daily activity and chores and health. It can also rule pets. But just with those two things as well, I was like, I think that advantage might go to Kansas City. But again, you can look at so many things. Like I could just keep pulling back layers of the astrology chart and of all the players too as well. But eventually you just got to make a decision. So anyway, my worthless opinion, one of my favorite names here, thank you for joining us, would be satisfying to see Mahomes get more rings than... That is true. Hey, there you go. I like that from he who shall not be named. And where's he going to go to? I heard that the evil to the east are willing to kind of like pay him. I could be... Did I hear either 80 million or like it's got to be 80 or 60 million or something like that they were going to tinker around with? But yeah, we'll see. He should just retire, dude. Just get over it. Jack Photographic, what's going on? Hey, can't wait for the Vikings stream. I know, me too. I know, it's so crazy. It's like so far away, but pretty soon we'll be back at it. But yeah, I'm going to pop in during the off season as well too. I am going to try to do more planetary predictions with other games and stuff as well. Baseball, maybe try to do that. I've done a couple for Timberwolves, so I might try to pop in and do a little bit of that as well. So I want to do more of it, maybe like once a week or something in the off season. Black Moon Lilith, where is it in the game? That's a good question. Actually, I know where Black Moon Lilith is right now without even looking it up because I know where she is. She actually is in Leo right now. She's in Leo. She just entered Leo. And that rules the Eagles. Today rules them. And, but however, with Black Moon Lilith in the Eagles' first house, that would mean that for Kansas City, Black Moon Lilith is in the Kansas City's house of open enemies as well, actually. So that could be something to look for as well. Potentially Black Moon Lilith could potentially be helping the Eagles. And the fact that Black Moon Lilith is in the Kansas City's house of open enemies, that's a good thing to look at too. Okay, we can remember that as well. So maybe Black Moon Lilith will be coming into play as well. Too. That's a good point. Good news. I know. Okay, yes, good point. I have not talked about that yet. Flores, we got him. We got him. Vikings, they finally made their decision. Brian Flores, so that's exciting. It very much is so. We'll see how that goes. I'm excited about it. I do still kind of think Ed Donatel kind of got a little bit of too much pitchfork action there, but we'll see. He's going to go to the Jets or the Raiders. I actually think that this is he who shall not be named. Danica Patrick's ex-boyfriend, Olivia Munn's ex-boyfriend. Okay. The fiance. Okay. I think he wants to be on the West Coast. I think he wants to be like in California. So I could actually see him. I mean, New York, I guess if he's with the Jets, he's still on one of the coasts, right? New York, then he's kind of in the New York area. But I could see him maybe going to Las Vegas. I could see that, especially kind of reuniting with Davante Adams as well, too. So I could see that, too. Mm-hmm. Will you be doing draft pick predictions? I guess I wasn't planning on it. No, but I wonder how I would go about doing that. That would be something to look into. Actually, I wouldn't necessarily be opposed to doing that, but I guess I wouldn't really know how to look at that. That's something that I could potentially learn how to do as well, because this is like sports astrology, because there's so many different branches of astrology, but I'm obviously focusing on the sports astrology of it all. But I like that. That's cool. I could maybe look at the players that are expected to go and kind of go from there. But yeah, that's a good one. I like it. Something to think about. Did you hear Kirk Cousins was singing about Tom Brady? Okay, yeah. Okay, JV, I did hear about that. I actually retweeted that on my Twitter, with Kelly and Kirk singing. People, us collectively on the channel here and on the chat, we can all take credit for that. We have been the ones that have been playing the clip of Kirk Cousins singing after every Vikings touchdown. And I know that whoever they are, I know they're always watching. We need credit for that. We've been pushing this voice of an angel forever, for years now. And now, they're going to feature Kirk Cousins singing with Kelly Clarkson. Oh, please. We're taking partial credit for that. Also, we're actually taking all credit for that. So, yeah, I did see it. But I will say he's got a better voice than I do. Like, I can't carry a tune at all. So, hi, James. How's it going? I don't think he who shall not be named will retire. I don't think so either. I think he's staying in. He won't want to enter Canton out. That's true. Outshined by Brady, but that would be funny. It would be. Yeah, this is true. I think he really, really wanted that Jeopardy gig. I think he really, really wanted that, but yeah, we'll see. Jade, could you possibly do content on draft night? Yeah, I mean, I would love to do that. I'm trying to figure out how, like, I could look at the chart of the draft, like the times. I guess what we could do is we could go based on the time that each team has. But yeah, I'm trying to think how I would look at the astrology of that. I guess we could look at the astrology of like each draft night and then see what the planets are doing, could kind of go from there. But one thing I'm actually working on too, which is it's a very long process, but doing a deep dive for each NFL team's actual birth chart. So I've mentioned this before that I actually did a video on that with the Vikings, because I looked at the Vikings actual, like the day that they were born, the team was born. I looked at their chart and I did a video for it, but I didn't necessarily really like it. So that's actually one thing that I'm kind of working on too, is to do kind of a birth chart reading for every NFL team. So that's one thing I'm working on as well. But yeah, I like that idea too, to get me involved in the draft, because I have never been a draft aficionado. I don't claim to be. I never have gotten into college sports, so I don't even really know who's like up and coming. It's literally, I just kind of hear from you all on the channel and like word of mouth as far as the draft goes. But I like that idea. I like that. Wow, some mistake will happen somewhere. You mean for the game today, or do you mean just with the draft in general? But yeah, I think that again, just with the Super Bowl in general, I'm just going to pull up the chart again here quickly so we can just all take a peek at it again. Just with the Super Bowl in general, I mean, that's just kind of how it goes, right? But just with like surprises, something unexpected. But like, you know what I was thinking about actually is, and now this just, I don't know why this just popped in, which, and this isn't like an out there prediction by any means, but maybe we're going to get an appearance at halftime from Eminem. That might be something. And to watch for, maybe, something secret or hidden, because the moon in Scorpio, and just with what's called mundane astrology, just in general, when you're looking at like world astrology, the moon rules the people. So the fact that the moon, she's in Scorpio right now, and Scorpio is a sign that it can be very, very private. It also rules like the underworld, secrets, things that are buried underneath, that are hidden. So the fact that the moon is there representing the people, the spectacle of it all, yeah, something hidden, secretive. And it also is very reflective of us just seeing Rihanna as well. Like Rihanna, I'm looking forward to her performance. We haven't seen her perform in years. Where's she been? Right? She's been hidden. And now all of a sudden today, boom, we're going to see her. So possibly something like that too. And I don't think the Eminem thing is too far of a stretch because Eminem and Rihanna did a song together. But Eminem is also a fan of the NFL. I definitely think we're going to see Jay-Z today. I mean, I think Jay-Z's coming out. Jay-Z discovered Rihanna. A big thing maybe is Miss Beyonce going to make an appearance today? That could be something to watch for because rumor has it as well. Rumor has it that Rihanna and Beyonce, or Beyonce is not really like a huge fan of Rihanna. But again, rumors. We'll see. We'll see. Some sort of surprise though. Some mistake maybe. And again, the mistake possibly is Prince Patrick going to throw some sort of interception. I mean, JV mentioned that earlier today. So that's always a possibility. He was terrible. Who was terrible? Who are we talking? Oh, the singing. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I know, Kirk, but we're taking credit for that. Kirk got on stage and he was singing his little heart out with Kelly Clarkson. So we've been playing those clips of Kirk singing all year. So obviously they've been watching the stream. I missed Twitter. I changed my email. You lost everything? You can't go back to your original? I was wondering where you've been on there. You could always start a new one if you wanted. But yeah. Twitter, I'm mainly on Twitter in here. I didn't agree with Gino getting comeback player of the year. Not sure if you watched it all. Oh, I didn't. But yeah, I heard about that. And then congratulations, obviously, to Justin Jefferson, too, who won offensive player of the year. So that's very exciting. But I mean, good for Geno Smith. You know, he had a pretty good year, but I did not watch all of it. I actually only just saw clips, to be completely honest. Hey, we got a Tommy spotting. What's going on, Tommy? Good to see you. Vlad, exactly what did he come back from being a scrub? Here's your award for taking 3 L's from the Niners. Woo! Tommy. Always got a Tommy take in there, but we like it. All right. Hey, Eric, how's it going? Good to see you. Good to see you. Happy Super Bowl Sunday again, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. I agree with Gino getting the award, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, I think he did a good job, right? And I think overall, too, like with Russie Wilson going to Denver and then chomping gum, Pete Carroll, I think it was deserved. I mean, Geno Smith did pretty well. So, I mean, good on him. And everybody kind of was expecting Seattle pretty much, you know, what are they going to do? Oh, Seattle, we don't got to worry about them. And then lo and behold, it was more like Denver. You don't got to worry about them. So, and I like Pete Carroll. So that's cool. Pretty much my reasoning. That's fair. That's fair. Eminem was in the halftime show last year, so I don't think he shows up again. You never know. You never know. But potentially, yeah, because he was in the show last year. But I know him and Rihanna again did the song together. But I think today it could be maybe him. We're obviously going to get some sort of surprise at halftime, right? We obviously are. So I think Jay-Z's a given. Again, because he discovered Rihanna. And, you know, they had the Empire State of Mind. But I think Beyonce, I don't know, she might make an appearance. But the only way that maybe Beyonce doesn't make an appearance is the fact that she doesn't really get along with Rihanna, allegedly. And then I could see Rihanna being like, I'm not going to let Beyonce come on stage and like steal any sort of my thunder of my comeback. So potentially. And also, I don't think this will be a shock. I think we're going to see Rihanna's baby's father, rapper A$AP Rocky. I do think we are going to see him on the stage, given. So, Gina Smith. Oh my gosh, Tommy. That's kind of funny, but I like Gino. I'd take him over Kirk. Hi, Michael. How's it going? How's your day? Oh, it's been going good. I actually was just going to take another sip of my coffee. I probably had too much. I don't try to drink a lot of caffeine, but I'm caffeinated up. I hope you're doing well. Thanks for popping through. Who do you got winning the Super Bowl today? We have a pretty similar prediction. I did deep dive the astrological chart if you want to kind of go back earlier in the video, but I have my prediction on the bottom there. I think it's going to be a close game, and to be honest, I could see either team taking it, but I do have Kansas City 32, Philadelphia 28. That's my prediction. Michael, I like that score. Tommy approves, Michael. Tommy approves. All right. Godair catches. Oh, that could be cool. That could be cool as well. Yeah. I'm just trying to think too. When I was looking at Uranus, especially with some sort of something with the moon there, just opposing. I don't know why like streaker came into mind, or like some sort of like audience member doing something, or like some sort of fan making some sort of like weird spectacle, maybe that we're not ready for. But I just don't, I mean, security is so tight that like, how would something like that happen? Maybe, you know, when everybody's getting ready for halftime, you know, when all the like fans or the people for halftime go on the field, maybe something like that. I don't know, but it'll be fun, right? It'll be fun. I do think Tom Brady's going to make an appearance somehow too, whether it be in the booth or in a commercial or something. He's gonna make an appearance today. Like, yeah, given. I'm just so, I'll be surprised if he doesn't. Let's just say that. I know. He didn't win Rookie of the Year. Who ended up winning that? Who did end up winning that? I thought he did. But yeah, Brock Purdy, I think he had a good year overall too. Bummer about the injury, but who won Rookie of the Year? I forgot. Who won that? Somebody remind me. Thanks, Tommy. I know this game is going to be high scoring. Yeah, Michael, you have it pretty high scoring too. And I did see a lot of people had it high scoring. But I think too, but right before I started streaming, I think the I'm not a betting aficionado, so whatever the term is, where like the total of both teams will be 50, like under 50. Like, I think they're predicting it to be a little bit, I guess, lower scoring, because I had been hearing a lot of people throughout this week about like in the 30s, like this is going to be like a high scoring affair. And I mean, potentially it could be, especially with these two quarterbacks as well. But I don't know. I think too, just with the quarterbacks in general, you got to look at other stuff, obviously. And Mahomes, with that little nagging injury that he's got, that's going to be something to watch out for. They were kind of getting after him. He's had time, obviously, to recover. And then with Jalen Hurts, again, him being a son in Leo, and his son just right next to Saturn there, I just feel like could be some sort of stop blockage. I hope no injuries. Just because we don't like those, obviously, in general. But he didn't play enough games. But BCB was money. All right. Lvii didn't even get nominated. Really? Who won? Need more heavy metal bands at halftime. Preheater, I love that. You know, yeah. And speaking of heavy metal, I just heard that Ozzy Osbourne is like officially like donezo retiring from music, which is crazy that he's retiring from touring. Crazy that he is still touring. The dude like had back surgery and he was still getting up there. And Ozzy's what? Ozzy's got to be what, in his like 70s by now? So it's just like, talk about a lengthy career. But yeah, heavy metal. That'd be cool. Maybe we'll get some sort of like, who would be like an appearance that we're maybe not ready for? Because I did also hear, just with the halftime show in general, I did hear Rihanna say something about there's going to be music that, like new music, you know, or like music that surprise music that we haven't heard before. So what if she does like some sort of cover of a heavy metal band? We'll see. I like Who's Spags coming up with a great game plan. I hate Kansas City, but the dude is a genius. Is that like their offensive coordinator or something like that? I'm with you. Like, honestly, I don't like either team. I really don't. Like, if this game could literally end in a tie or them both being losers, I'd be like, woo, they're both losers. Yay. But, okay, he must be some sort of coordinator for them, right? Oh, yeah, JV, wouldn't that be something? Potentially, what if we get a Drake appearance? And Drake and Rihanna had a thing, you know, a while back. And I know Drake is well, I mean, everybody's in Glendale right now. Like, the who's who, everybody's there. But I think Drake just had a concert. I think, what was it, Friday night? I think Drake had a concert in Glendale. Saw a bunch of the pretty people were at it. But yeah, that would be something. There's just some sort of fight, you know, lovers scorned there. But I also, time of possession is going to be extremely crucial in this game, along with the turnover differential. That's a good point you make too, Michael, about time too, just because, again, Saturn, the planet Saturn, rules time, and delays, blockages, again, it rules karma. So Saturn is a very, very focal point for Kansas City, especially today, which Saturn is also known as the Great Malefic planet, he can be kind of a meanie. He literally will shut doors in your face or stop you from doing stuff. And you're like, damn it, I was just doing that. And Saturn says, no, you're not, actually. No, you're not. Like, that's what Saturn does. So I could see that going like hit or miss for either team, right? But the fact that Saturn rules Kansas City today, and the sun, which rules Philadelphia, the sun is creeping towards Saturn. I don't know. But the sun is also very powerful. It's kind of like, who's going to be more powerful today? The sun or Saturn? That's one to watch for. But if you think about it, the sun kind of rules everything, right? The sun kind of rules everything. But the fact that the sun is in Aquarius right now, he loses some power being in Aquarius, and Saturn likes being in Aquarius. He rules Aquarius. So I don't know. But I think time will be a factor too. And when I've looked at other charts this season where Saturn plays a big role, time plays a huge factor. The one game that really, really sticks out to me just this year was Washington and Green Bay. Washington ended up winning. They were ruled by Saturn. And if you all remember that game, if I can jog your memory, Green Bay literally ran out of time at the end of the game. They were still throwing the ball around when the clock was at 0, and I think Washington ended up winning by like 3, or, it was very close. So that to me was just like, Saturn, nope, Green Bay, you're out of time here and not going to work. But again, Saturn can be kind of a meanie sometimes. So we'll see. Alrighty. Ryan, how you doing? All right, Ryan, you got Chiefs 34-27. I can't believe I just said that either. I try to always just say Kansas City because, just to be completely frank and honest with you all, I find Kansas City, their mascot, to be extremely beyond offensive. The chant that they do, beyond offensive. I can't believe they still do it. And I can't believe they still have that name. My mind is kind of blown by that, to be completely honest with all of you. But yeah, so, all right, Ryan, and you got them in the 30s too. But Ryan, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, shout out to Gummy Kirk. Exactly. I know Kirk was just enjoying that stage, wasn't he? So good for Kirky. Good for Pizza Ranch Boy. And the thing is too, it's like, Kirk, maybe you want to just like maybe go in entertainment, or not be the quarterback for the Vikings anymore. Like, maybe you could be done, right? Maybe. Okay, maybe someday he's gonna be off this team someday. Angel, he was outstanding in the Pro Bowl. Yeah, right. Flag football. Yeah. Kirk just coming in, Gummy guy coming in clutch there. It's hilarious. Peter, the eagle flies and craps on Reed's cap. Oh boy, I can see that too. And just if you think about it too, like if you just think about, because this is another thing I thought about too, the fact that the eagle just in itself is very powerful. The bird, and it's our bird, right? Our national bird. So the fact that represents Philadelphia, that could be beneficial to Philadelphia as well. They could just fly, grab that Super Bowl with those big old claws. I did see an eagle's nest yesterday. Y'all, she was working on it. The pair was working on it, but it's crazy. I love seeing eagles, actually. Like, they're so amazing. Wilson off to the Jets? Really? What? He won. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. He won. Nice. Okay. Right? Thank you, JV. Thank you. It was like the over-under. Thank you. Okay. It was like on the tip of my tongue. Seriously. You got it. You got my back. Thank you. Garrett Wilson, Rookie of the Year. Nice. Okay, from the Jets. Thanks, guys. Thank you. I didn't know that. Thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, right on. And then Nick Bosa won Defensive Player of the Year, right? I think I'm correct in that. Michael, that's a good prediction, Jade, that we both have Kansas City winning by 4. We will definitely see how it goes. Yeah, no, we will. We definitely will. Let's see if we're right. We can circle back later and check in. But yeah. Where? What? Where? What are you talking about? A ghost? In here? I mean, maybe. Peter, were you on the stream when I showed my ghost photo before? This was like back in like this last summer. Were you on for that stream? Some of you all I know were on, but was there one in the room that I missed? I mean, that could happen. That stuff kind of happens like all the time, but Garrett Wilson, there you go. All right. Metallica will never do it from what oh really? They just like refuse to do it. I could see that too. Well, another thing too, which probably potentially maybe some of you actually already know, that the Super Bowl, the halftime entertainment, they don't get paid for it. They don't get paid at all for it. Like Rihanna's not making any money. Not that she needs it, right? Like she's a billionaire, but yeah, that was something surprising to me that I only learned a few years ago, is that the entertainment, they actually don't get paid, which is kind of surprising. Sucks because Metallica would go, oh, for sure. For sure. What's their big one? Enter Sandman, right? Come on. Heavy metal. John, how's it going? Okay, good luck to your Eagles today. I wish you as your fan of your team, I wish you luck. But no, I don't like them. I don't like Kansas City either, though, to be fair. But good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, I do secretly not love them. No, and if I can just remind everybody, if we have to, that okay, a fan in Philadelphia. We all know they're fans, right? They're a little wild, right? We know that. We know that. Grease in the polls, okay, but a couple years ago, a Philadelphia fan full on ate horse shit. Literally off the ground from one of the police horses. That's where I'm like, that takes a cake and not a good way. That takes a crap cake. No pun intended. No, we're not doing that. What's wrong with you? I don't care how drunk you are. What the hell? What? That horse should have probably kicked that person in the face. Maybe not, because that could potentially kill you. But what? Who eats horse shit? Legit. Who throws a shoe? A horse does. Okay. Megadeth. Yeah, there you go. What's that? They sing worse than Cousins. Well, this I will say again, Kirk has a nice singing voice. I mean, it's not a bad voice at all. Voice of an angel. So he should just go into some other profession. Maybe he should try singing. Maybe he could be, I could see him being a really good, like in politics or something too, or like a motivational speaker or like gospel, maybe something like that. He could do really well in that, I feel like. James, Def Leppard, AC/DC, Iron Maiden, and the surviving members of Led Zeppelin. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Could you imagine that? Robert Plant and Jimmy Page are probably like, nope, we're not doing that. Like, we're too good for that. Maybe that's why, too, that we don't actually see any of those bands, because they actually are not supportive of the NFL at all. And they're actually just like, F it. F it. Another thing, too, some of you know, and if you don't know this, I do get Tinfoil Hattie on the channel over here. But what I'm thinking, too, with all like the UFO, UAP, balloon, hypothetical, I'm like, it's really interesting that all of that is happening right now when everybody's energy is focused on the Super Bowl. And then they got the balloon UAP over here. So it's like, well, we're all distracted with the Super Bowl. What is everybody else doing? What are they doing? Anybody else thought about that? I'm like, okay, everybody's distracted with the Super Bowl right now. And now they're coming out with this UAP balloon stuff. Again, it's just tinfoil hattie. Like, interesting. Anyway. All right. So what else we got? I'd rather have Cousins be the lead vocalist if that happened. Again, he can sing better than I can, so I can't knock Kirk's singing voice. I can't. Powerful, majestic, and devoted. Those born under the primal zodiac sign of the eagle. Oh, you looked up primal zodiacs? Primal zodiac animal. Very good. That's another fun one to look at as well. That will combine one's sun sign with your Chinese animal, which is very, very cool as well. We are in the Chinese year of the rabbit or the cat this year, right now. Are born to dedicate themselves to a cause with an intensity rarely seen by any of their peers. Nice. Yeah, and again, just the eagle in itself and its symbolism, very important. Very important. I the animal, the eagle, love them. I mean, I love all animals. I love all birds, but yeah. Amazing. Cool. Thank you for sharing that, John. James, Saturn has more rings than the sun, though, remember. True that. True that. Yeah, true that. Yeah, it's just with the Sun and Saturn today. Seriously, both of those teams going at it. But to be fair, too, last year the Bengals were represented by the Sun, and the Rams were represented by Saturn as well. And that was another rough one. Again, y'all can go back and watch my video from last year if you want. It's featured on my channel for my Super Bowl prediction last year. But that was another hard one too. And to determine, I predicted the Rams to win, and then, as we know that they did win. But since it was so close, I actually had to look at Matthew Stafford being a Sun in Aquarius and equate that with also Saturn, like him being in the league for so long and then finally getting rewarded. Because that's another thing that Saturn will do is, yes, it is a malefic planet and it will stop you and close a door, but it's mainly just directing you in the better way that you should be going, where that is very challenging. But if you do then go kind of in the direction where Saturn kind of directs you or stops you, it stops you from going over here, so you go over here. If you do then follow through, Saturn will then reward. It does reward hard work, but you literally have to put the work in to get the reward. So, yeah, anyway. So again, that's why Saturn can be a toughie. He can be challenging. It's the Florida State Seminoles chant. Oh, okay. With Kansas City, I don't like that either. It's offensive. The only way I agree with that is the way the Seminoles use it. Every play. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, but just with me in general, too. I don't even like the Vikings' stupid seal clapping. I don't like that either. Like, I like the chant is fine. Like the skull, that's cool. But the stupid, like, stop it. It's embarrassing. Stop. The Eagles will fly high today. They might. They very well could. I could see it too. I could. Yeah. Yes, finally. They are. The birds, they are. Yes, there are. I just saw the eagle's nest. I didn't see an eagle yesterday, but I just saw one. What was it? A couple days ago. Yeah, it was just like flying. I love seeing them. They're so cool. Yeah, I love seeing eagles. Yeah. They're amazing. Amazing, amazing. My high school mascot was also the Seminoles, so I'm used to it. Oh, okay. Yeah. Again, I just like, especially with like Cleveland, changing their name, and the University of North Dakota, their hockey team, also changing their name. Like, I don't, like, how is Kansas, and even Washington, right? Like, the football team or Commanders. I still like calling them the football team, but I mean, how is Kansas City, like, how is that still a thing? So, but I could also see that kind of going to the wayside for Kansas City today too. I could see that being like, oh, Kansas City, you've been on your pedestal here. Well, Eagles are going to come push you off your perch too. Again, I can see good and bad for both, but do have to make a prediction at the end. Nate, how's it going? Good to see you. Cheers. Thanks for joining us. Happy Super Bowl Sunday to you as well. Good to have you check in with us. Always good to see you, Nate. Thanks for being here. All right. Philly, yeah, I know. When you think about it, when you put it that way, JV, yeah, it's like, who's the lesser of the two evils? And I will say, shout out to, like, all my Eagles content creator friends as well. Like, I do support them all the way, like Bird Gang, JC Sports Talk, DV King Sports. I mean, I'm rooting for all of them as well, because, like, good people. I've collaborated with all of them before too. So as far as that goes, I'm totally supporting there. I mean, that's amazing. But yeah, I mean, especially just with the Vikings though, and their history with Philadelphia, it's hard. I can't. Like, meh. But again, I don't like Kansas City either. So I'm sick of them. So it's tough. It's tough. Again, if both of the teams could lose today, that'd be fine. If they could end in a tie. All right. Yeah, I know. Jay, I know. Look it up, man. I know. And I'm sure, at least I hope, this person, I'm sure, was extremely intoxicated. But yeah, video of it a couple of years ago. Yeah. If you want to look it up, I'm sure it's on the internet somewhere. I unfortunately I literally almost vomited. Like, bleh, bleh, but yeah. Bleh. Well, Pizza Boy, well, I guess we don't know that. Maybe it's got some sort of beneficials probiotic that we don't know about. I don't know, but I'm not trying it. Ew. Whatever, however you want to rationalize it, that's fine. That's fine. Is it wrong to hope for a natural disaster so that, hey, oh my, okay, actually, Nate, no, I mean, I don't want anybody to get injured, but going back to the tinfoil hat thing, what if the surprise is like a UAP starts hovering over the field during the game? Whoa, what if that's the surprise? What if that happens today? They're here. They're invading today. Tinfoil hat time? Maybe. Or maybe they're just coming down here to watch the damn game. The UAPs, the other people in the galaxy, you know? They could just be coming down to watch the spectacle. You know, maybe they're just grabbing their snacks right now. They're probably preparing all their dips too, right? And they're just hovering around. Like, all right, we're going to watch this. Whatever they're doing down there, let's watch it. Maybe. You never know. They might have the best view in the house. You know, they get the aerial view. They can see everything. Just saying. The new information might make me change. Oh, JV. Woo, do we sway you? JV, a little bit here? Do we sway you a little bit? Oh, thanks, Kevin. Thanks for popping on. Appreciate that. Hope you're having a good Super Bowl Sunday. I like the name. I did too, honestly. Like, I still kind of call them the football team like I just did, but I might just keep doing it. I don't know why. I feel like it's fitting. I agree with you on that one. All right. John, my high school mascot was a smoking hot redhead flying on. Oh my God. Was it? Really? That's cool. That's crazy. Was the mascot named Jade? If I could fly an eagle, wow, I would be so powerful. Look out, everybody. Need something to drink? You look kind of thirsty. Me? I do? I got my drink right here. I got my coffee, actually. And it's really cold. But no, I don't think I'm super thirsty right now. What are you all drinking? What are all your snacks later? Before I sign off here, what are y'all snacks for later? Let me know. I might have to mix up a little something later. All right. Cheers from Oregon, y'all. Oh, yeah, Angel, you know I'm all about that. You know it. You know it. A little puff, puff pass. Well, we got Rap in the house here. We pretty much got a YouTube celebrity here. Purple Pocket Podcast. What's going on, Rap? Good to see you. And people, if you are not aware of Purple Pocket Podcast, what the F have you been doing with your life? Get on over there. We've collaborated a few times. Obviously, a Vikings content creator, great guy. Rap, good to see you. Who do you got today? Who are you rooting for? Honestly, Rap, I was saying earlier too, like, I can't stand either team. Like, I can't stand either team. So if they could both lose, that would be great. And, you know, us as Vikings fans, Philadelphia, right? But yeah, good to see you, Rap. Thanks for joining us. All right. Yeah, JV saying hi to Rap as well. All right. Party at the Moon Tower, people. But yeah, pretty much that's what we got going. I might just pop the chart on the screen here again. All right. Oh, there we go. JV saying hi to Rap. Rap responding. I like the way you think, dude. That's who I got too. And again, it's a lose-lose because I can't stand either one. But yeah, I'm with you there. So like the one time I will be, I'm not even probably going to cheer because again, I don't really care. But the only thing that I can think of like that is Minnesota adjacent is Jerick McKinnon plays for Kansas City. So go Jerick McKinnon. But yeah, other than that, I can stay pretty impartial. But Rap, yeah, exactly. Playboy, that's a pretty good one. Yeah, but anyone, if you haven't checked out Rap's channel, go over there and subscribe. Great dude, makes a lot of good content over there. His channel's just killing it. Always doing stuff as well. Oh, you got cheesesteak for the, oh, that's very fitting. Very, very fitting. Very fitting. I don't even know. I don't really have any like fun, like, I don't really have any secret snacks for the game today. And they won't be secret because I'm not streaming during the game today, but I got some like truffles, some like vegan truffles that I got. I might eat a couple of those. Those are like chocolate, you know. I got some chips, some solid chip action. Might do a little bit of that. On to Angel's sentiment, the peace and love. Partake a little bit of that. You know how it goes. You know how we do. All right. The NFL should disqualify Kansas City and they should. They should. Why not? And I bet the Bengals' entire team is there too. So they could just go join in. Yeah, just like go suit up. Who cares? But yeah, that's a bummer. But yeah, I know that I believe, JV, that you're a fan of Joe Burrow, right? You're a big Joe Burrow fan. And I don't not like Joe Burrow. But I will say I was a little disappointed. It seems like, and this could just be learning for Joe Burrow as well, but it seemed like this last game here, he couldn't hang. Like, he just out of his element, dude. Out of your element, Donnie. Like, you're just out of his element. Just didn't seem completely confident. Seemed like too big of a spectacle for him to kind of hang. But I like Joe Burrow as a player. I think he's got a lot more potential. But yeah, it was a little, I don't know if disappointing is the right word, but maybe just a little surprising. I was just like, okay, he just doesn't seem like he can hang right now. Kansas City are going to show out today. I mean, and two, just with Kansas City, just with Andy Reid in general. I mean, the dude is just a proven winner. He just gets it done. I mean, that mustache, it's got secret powers under there. What are you hiding under there, Andy? What's hiding underneath your stash, right? They've given up 26 sacks all year. Okay, we got a little stat in there. Thanks for that stat, lad. Eagles have given up 44. Okay, and I really think, I think the Eagles are totally going to be going after Prince Patrick today. I mean, especially with this ankle injury, just even more so. But yeah, that's a good point there that you bring up. Yeah. No one mentions that Kansas City line is actually good at pass blocking. Okay. So Jalen Hurts, right, could get some blockage today. Like legit, like get stopped in his tracks. Yeah. And that too, yeah, it's something to do with like both quarterbacks today too. Like in some certain capacity, like being stopped in some way. So again, I could be wrong in saying this, but it could be like a different player that really kind of, I don't want to say like steals the show, but gets the win, maybe. And potentially maybe the Kelsey brothers. I know that they're very, very featured. Potentially a player too that's kind of under the radar a little bit too, that maybe nobody's kind of been paying attention to, because again, it's been very Jalen Hurts central, very Prince Patrick central, very Kelsey brothers, so it's like, who's kind of laying in the weeds too that we're not really paying attention to as well. That could always be something to look out for. But Jade, right now, Pizza Boy is singing Fly, Eagles, Fly on the road to victory. Okay. That's what Kirk's singing now? Okay. I mean, he could be. I don't know. He very well could be. That's one thing that does kind of pique my interest, I guess, as far as like Vikings fans, I'm pretty sure. If I had to guess, they're probably all cheering for Kansas City, but I wonder if like the players, if they also, especially the ones that were on the Vikings in 2018, and I wonder who Case Keenum's cheering for today, and Stephon Diggs, but yeah. All right. But anywho, all right. So that's my prediction, everybody. Again, thank you so much for joining me today. And if you want to, I'll put a timestamp in the bottom. If those of you that are interested, if you want to kind of go back and look at like the breakdown that I did of the chart, I will put a timestamp in there as well. But yeah, I wanted to break down what I thought. I've been looking at the chart kind of off and on all week. And another tough one. I'm just kind of looking at my nerd notes here to see if there was anything that I potentially missed. Again, good and bad for both teams. I mean, that's why, especially with the Super Bowl charts in general, they're very challenging. But I mean, all the charts are, because generally too, the Super Bowls are kind of played around the same time. So planets, they move in patterns. So they kind of have the same, like I said, last year, both the teams were also represented by the sun and Saturn, as with this year, but the teams are different. The players are different. So that kind of like changes things up as well. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I guess for me as an astrologer, it would be great to be right, obviously. And then because I got the prediction right last year, and of course, don't mind me, it wouldn't be a stream without my nose running. So don't mind me. But yeah, like I said, it would be great to be 2-0 with last year, but we'll see what happens. So again, thanks for joining me, everybody. I appreciate y'all. I'm convinced Kirk would sing anything. Hey, I think you're right. That's why maybe like all of us subconsciously or like collectively, my notes are just falling all over here. We should just like send Kirk subliminal messages. You want to now explore a singing career. You know Kelly Clarkson. Maybe she can help you put out an album. Football's in your past. Football's in your past. Because I'm over the Kirk experiment. I'm over it. Done. Ah! But all of you know that already. But yeah, he does love to sing. And I mean, he should sing. If that's what is truly in his heart, he should sing. Try that. Thanks, JV. Thank you so much. I will. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day as well. Thank you so much. Appreciate that, JV. I really do. But yeah, everybody, have a great rest of your Super Bowl Sunday. And yeah, I'm going to pop back on. I'll do a little recap too. Probably sometime this week. I will try to chime in and just do my little recap of what I think of the big game as well. But yeah, we got a lot to watch out for. You know, we get the commercials. We got Rihanna. So, and again, I'm a Rihanna fan, so I'm looking forward to seeing her, what she's got up her sleeve. So that'll be fun, hopefully. And then, yeah, hoping for a good game, not a snooze fest. And there's got to be a winner. And again, I don't really care. But as an astrologer, I guess I'm hoping that my prediction comes true, but we'll see. So I'm always learning, but in the end, too, at the end of the game, I'll get an answer. So we can always go back and check our notes as well. But again, everybody, I really appreciate you hanging out with me here today and just in general, supporting the channel and supporting me. Y'all are the best. Appreciate you. And then, yeah, back to the Kirk singing. I seriously thought of us in the chat, and I was like, we all get credit on that, on his success as a singer now. We do. But have a great Super Bowl Sunday. Again, here's to a great game. Hopefully it's good, competitive, no injuries, knock on wood. Everybody stays healthy. And it goes, you know, as good as everybody can expect. And it's just entertaining. Are you not entertained? All right, we're going to see. So let's check it out. And thanks again, everybody, for hanging out with me. And I will see you on the flip side. Have a great rest of your Sunday.